68. The 68 is refutation of Nyaya school, Nyaya and Vaisheshika school both. School's position of self. So this is, in a way, I would say that India has given birth to many traditions. It's amazing. Many traditions. And these are real thinkers, I would say. These are not just religious people. Thinkers. They think and they apply in their real life to change their behaviors accordingly. This is amazing. So, but the philosophical thoughts, they are not just only one. Today we talk about, let's say, the Hinduism. It's not like that. There are like so many traditions within, and today we conglomerated, put them into just one basket, say Hinduism. Actually, there's so many traditions within. It's not just one. And the word Hinduism came way later. So there are many traditions. We were born in India. For example, Jainism, which is older than Buddhism. Jainism, Buddhism, Samkhya, Vedanta, Vaisheshik, Nyaya, Mimamsaka, all these traditions were all born in India. So, unlike Samkhya who believed that the self and the consciousness, these two are like the one. Nyaya and Vaisheshik believe that the self is like inanimate object. It does not have a mind, meaning that it is not animate. It is like a computer. It is not computer, I would say the robot. It's like a robot without a mind. And then it operates with somebody else giving the command, and it operates. So this is how, so who gives the command? The mind gives the command. And the self itself is inanimate. Like, so with human beings, for example, the drone, and also the robots, so you manage from the office, and the robots are walking, right? Walking nowadays, the robots serving food in the hotels, right? So this is actually managing from somebody in the office, and people think that AI, many people, majority of the people take a little idea of what AI is. They think that, oh, AI is going to dominate the world, and that the human beings will be dominated by AI. AI is all like this, just the computer science. The computer is going to dominate the human being. This is impossible. This is our naivety. What is actually happening is that many people get this feeling. Why? Because that, for example, you are so fond of, let's say, what? Cheesecake. You're always ordering cheesecake. By the time you, from India, you go to Switzerland. Is anybody from Switzerland? Okay, over there, right? You go to Switzerland. Hey, where is? This Shamba. Over there. So you go to Switzerland, and on your mobile it comes. There's a shop nearby for cheesecake. Wow, that's amazing. I'm just coming, and how does the Switzerland know that I like cheesecake? So it's helping me to identify locate the cheesecake. Oh, the AI, this AI now has full control over me, right? No. So one is operating on the basis of algorithm. And who set the algorithm? There are very bright people in the offices. And eventually there could be danger that majority of the people will get the feeling that the AI, artificial intelligence, is completely overriding the human beings. No, there are some brilliant people. And most likely we never know. Today I'm saying this. Perhaps in about like 50 years, if not in 50 years, 100 years or 200 years time, the world will be governed by 2 or 3 people, for exceptionally bright people, where the visa, all these things will become totally redundant. Bank will become redundant, because bank will have to operate on the AI, and the AI all governed by 2 or 3 very intelligent people. They will have fight among themselves, these very intelligent people. So this is going to happen in about 100 to 200 years time from now. So majority of the people, we are not that smart. So we think that the artificial intelligence, now computer has overwritten the human beings. No, some people are there who are managing everything. Okay. So this, like this, The Nyaya and Vaisheshiks, they say that the self, the person is inanimate, and it is like a material object. Is a material object inanimate? Okay, so let's see. 68. Furthermore, something lacking mind, inanimate. Lacking mind meaning inanimate as a self cannot be a self. This is what Bodhisattva Shantideva is saying, that you, Nyaya and Vaisheshik, you say that the self is a material object which does not have it lacks mind. But this cannot be a self, because it has no mind, like a vase and such things. Then if you say that the self, there's a self without a mind, then even the vase should be also self. The house should also be self, like vase and such things. Now suppose you claim it is cognizant because of its conjunction with the mind. It is cognizant. But the self, now the Vaisheshik and they say that, but the self is cognizant. Cognizant meaning it knows things. Why? Because of the accompaniment of the mind. For example, the robot. The moment you move, the robot will say, hey, don't move. Right? And you think that the robot is knowing me. So, actually, how the robot is able to precisely tell you, hey, don't move. Right? Don't touch my mobile. Don't touch don't try to escape. The robot is talking. Right? Why? And you may think the robot is actually, robot actually responds so effectively. There's somebody there. There's a mind behind this. So likewise, this self is cognizant because of the accompaniment of the mind. This is how the Vaisheshik responded. Because it is, now suppose you claim, 68, fourth line, now suppose you claim, it is cognizant, meaning that it is cognitively active. It knows things. Cognizant because of its conjunction with the mind. Then it absurdly follows that this non-cognizant self has perished. Meaning that for Vaisheshik, the self per se is non-cognizant, like the robot is non-cognizant. So this non-cognizant self is a permanent entity. So one thing which, I don't know, the Judeo-Christian belief of the self as soul. A soul, is it permanent? Is it permanent? Okay, is there anybody like who has really studied Christianity, Christian philosophy, theology, studied, not just, I was a Christian, I'm a Christian. Even I'm a Buddhist. If you ask what is emptiness, what is bodhicitta, there is a compassion. What is compassion? Bodhicitta. They don't know. You're getting it? So likewise, not just that if somebody says, I'm Christian, I'm the Muslim, I'm the what? Jain, this. But someone who actually studied the theology. So for these, we really need to check. In Asia, particularly in India, the philosophers, they were actually debating in those days. Because of this, you have to say something. Say the other party tells you the self that you're accepting, is it permanent? You have to say yes. If you say yes, does it have part or is partless? You have to say something. So this is how the philosophies associated with the religions, they kept evolving in Asia. In the West, I'm not too sure that everyone is just following the same tradition, like the Judaism or Christianity. The basic philosophy is just the same. So therefore, there's no competition. So there's a soul there which moves, the final judgment and so forth. Is the soul permanent? Is it partless? Is it independent? So these inquiries, I'm just wondering, in the theology of Christianity or Judaism, if there is the presentations. But in Asia, it's very clear. Say the non-Buddhists would say the self is permanent. Clear, self is permanent. And it's partless. Yes, partless. And if you go back in time, do they really believe in these concepts? Later, the philosophers, the theologians from different traditions, they have to defend their tradition. They defend their tradition. And to defend the tradition, they have to say something. So this is something, and the students are there, and what they say becomes again another theology, later on followed by the students. Okay, so it's very clear cut in Asia, particularly in India. It's clear cut that what you believe in self as permanent, as partless, and so forth. So it says that then it absurdly follows that this non-cognizant self. So self, like the robot, the self, taking aside the mind, is still a self, but it's non-cognizant and it's permanent. Permanent means it should always remain non-cognizant. It cannot become cognizant. So the moment the mind comes, then it becomes cognizant. If that is the case, that the earlier non-cognizant permanent self becomes it diminished. It's no more that it disappears. Because it should be permanent means it cannot change. So what comes out different? It cannot be that. So what is the early version of the self? It's no more there. So it's perished. 69. And if the self were in fact unchanging, if you say that yes, the self is permanent, it's unchanging, what could the mind do to it? Then if it is unchanging, not knowing, not cognizant, it should forever remain non-cognizant. So if it forever remains non-cognizant, what can the mind do to make it cognizant? What can the mind do to it? If the self were devoid of mind and activities, and if you say that, oh no, the self is devoid of mind, then it does not know what to do. It is left with no activities. Because for activities you have to do something. So there should be mind to make you to move. So if it is without the activities, then even the space, we can say space also is self. Why not? Space could also become a self. Next, rejection of the arguments concerning selflessness as a person. Suppose now these are some of the questions that can come from the non-Buddhist to the Buddhist. Suppose you then object, but if a permanent self does not truly exist, for you the Buddhist, the self is said to be impermanent. It is not permanent. If a permanent self is not there, as you believe, the connection between actions and their effects actually mean karmas. In this life you accumulate karma, and then the karma to take birth as, let's say, somebody from India to take birth in, let's say, in Japan, right? So that karma, and the effect is going to be experienced in the next life. So what connects the two? The karma accumulate in this life, and the effect you're going to experience in the next life. If this were to be the case, then so what connects the two? Because this self is impermanent, according to Buddhists. Impermanent. When you die, finish. Then what travels to the next life? So how can you account for the law of cause and effect, law of karma? How do you account for this? This is the major question that comes from the people who believe in permanent self. For them it's very comfortable to say law of karma is, because the self is permanent, it travels from one life to the next life, it's permanent. So therefore, you accumulate the positive karma, negative karma in this life, and the results you experience in the next life, because the same self goes there. But with Buddhism, same self doesn't go there. Self is impermanent. It's not permanent. So therefore, what travels to the next life? This is a major question. So it says, 17. Suppose you then object, but if a permanent self does not truly exist, the connection between the karma's actions that you do in this life and the effects that you experience in the future lives could not be maintained. You cannot account for that. Okay. Since action ceases after having been done, to whom should the action be ascribed? Say, you do the action karma, and for example, say the acute, say the anger. For example, here, studying emptiness and so forth, and then how many you are angry? Now, no anger. How many were angry at least in these 7 days? Most likely not. Maybe once a little here and there, right? Little. Okay, so the overall speaking, anger is much less in the retreat setting, right? So very nice, gentle. Wow, everybody's like a Buddha. Everyone's so kind, so gentle, so nice, amazing, right? In some cases, the time that we interact with people here, would be like, just 7 days interaction would be much more interaction than you had over the last 10 years put together. Right? Wow, that's amazing. Right? Tushita is amazing. Right? And the people, it's amazing. Okay, so, and then you study emptiness. Wow, amazing emptiness. Right? So let's say that you came with so much of merit. You accumulate so much of merit, positive karmas, and then you leave. Day after tomorrow, then you have a picnic, and then you leave. Small way you leave. And then you get to your house. And your mom says, how is your retreat? Right? Okay, good. Right? And your neighbor knocks the door. Yes. Right? You throw garbage next to my door, right? Emptiness, right? Emptiness. No. Oh, Geshe said, he's like a bunch of atoms. And garbage is also a bunch of atoms. I'm also a bunch of atoms. No. Yes, you threw this. No. And your mom is amazed. Wow, today this girl is not reacting at all. So calm, amazing, right? And then the person said, no, I just came from retreat. What did you came and the garbage came? Right? And then enough is enough. Get out, enough is enough. Get out of my property, get out, right? And then you come back. Oh, the person was so objectively real. I'm so objectively real. My anger is so objectively real. Right? Okay, where's emptiness? Where's a bunch of atoms? Right? Okay. So that way, why I said it? Okay, yes. So then the anger erupted. So earlier, just 2-3 days before, in Tushita, anger is like non-existent. And there's so much of joy, some compassion, wanting to help others, and a bunch of atoms. It's just amazing, right? So much of positive karma accumulated. And then within a few days' time, anger erupted, right? Anger erupted. So, and then let's say that so there, what happened to the positive karmas? Positive karma is some positive state of mind. It became dominant. It takes the dominant state where the anger erupts. Anger and the positive minds cannot go together. When the anger erupts, the positive minds that you have generated before, they will take the dominant state. Then let's say we die, and of this anger, with the anger, there's the negative karma. With being into Tushita, enjoying these studies of the Bodhisattva Shantiva's texts, and then being, nice with other people and so forth, your positive karma accumulated. So when negative karma, the next moment negative karma erupted, the positive karma took a dominant state. It has not disappeared. It is in the form of seed. So now closer towards the death. And then after this anger, again the next day, there's somebody from the Tushita called you up. How's your day now? Do you think about a bunch of atoms? Right? Oh no, I tried, but I had failed yesterday. Right? No, it doesn't matter. Think about it once more. Reflection, study, wisdom draw through study, reflection, meditation 3. Remember that? Oh yes. So then again the positive thoughts come back. So we see that positive thoughts arise, dominant state, again positive thoughts arise, and so forth happens. So then closer towards death. So of all these karmas, positive, negative, all these, let's say the karma here, accumulated here, is the most dominating one, most powerful one. So that takes over to project you to the next life in a favorable state because of the positive karma. So meanwhile, your negative karmas are not washed away, it's not gone. They are in the form of seed. So it also travels with you to the next life. But if the self is impermanent, then what carries this imprint to the next life? This is the question. Anyone will give the answer to this. Because according to Buddhism, the self is impermanent. So, what carries this imprint to the next life? Anyone? No one. Okay, yes, John. Yes.
Storehouse consciousness.
Storehouse consciousness. Storehouse consciousness, is that permanent or impermanent? It should be impermanent because it's a consciousness or a mind. Mind or consciousness is always impermanent from the point of view of Buddhism. So that's also impermanent. Just as the self is impermanent, the storehouse of the consciousness is also impermanent. So when you die, it disappears. No?
No.
But it's impermanent.
Well, so is the consciousness, but that travels.
But it's impermanent.
It travels with the consciousness.
No, it doesn't travel because it ceases. It doesn't cease. It's not changing.
It changes from moment to moment.
First moment is gone.
Yes.
First moment doesn't travel.
No.
What travels?
The
Okay, what travels? In one. Okay, Yenla.
The eye, this eye which assists across the 3 times.
So the eye is not impermanent.
The eye is impermanent.
It's
yes.
impermanent. Eye is changing.
It's changing.
So the first moment stops with the second moment.
But this eye...
Just say yes, no.
Okay, yes.
First moment stops when the second moment arises.
Yes.
First moment did not travel.
It is.
First moment doesn't travel.
That is isolate.
That's not my question. First moment travels, not travel.
The first moment, and then...
First moment doesn't travel.
It is a continuum of the
That's
eye
not my question.
3 times.
When I say, who are you? Don't say that the tree is green. I just say, who are you? And you said, tree is green, look. This is totally irrelevant.
So these eyes...
No, this is not the answer to my question. My question is, first moment, when the second moment arises, first moment ceases or not?
Yes.
First moment does not travel.
It actually brings an imprint.
Does it travel or not?
That previous moment.
Okay, I'm lucky that she's not saying that we did not learn this in NMC 1. Right? She's not blaming me, unlucky. Okay. Okay, raise hands. Who are there? Okay, Igor.
I'll risk an answer.
So the question is, what travels to the next life?
So I would say nothing travels.
Nothing travels. Okay, so what carries the imprint from this life to the next life?
I would say that it's a chain of interdependent events. That
So the mind doesn't travel.
It doesn't travel.
Person doesn't travel.
Doesn't travel.
Okay, so you don't take rebirth next life.
It's in a way of saying, yes, there is a continuum that we call it.
Okay, don't say that, who are you? The leaves are green. Right? My question is that what carries the imprint from one life to the next life?
The imprints
Yes.
must be
Did you travel? Which country are you from?
Portugal.
Did you travel from Portugal to India?
Yes, I travel.
Okay, you go travel from Portugal to India. So therefore, you go travel just as you travel from Portugal to India. You also travel from past life to this life.
I'll have to apply the same reasoning to my
Yes.
traveling from Portugal to India.
So because of this,
in
you also have to say that you travel from the past life to this life.
In a way of speaking, yes, we can say I travel from one life to the other.
Good.
Conventionally, we can
Good.
say.
Good. So you are momentarily, you are impermanent.
Yes,
You are momentarily changing.
yes,
First moment changes to second moment.
yes,
So with the second moment, first moment did not travel.
no,
Okay, second moment also did not travel.
no,
So nothing, no moment in your being traveled to the next moment.
no.
So the Igor in Portugal did not travel to India.
Ultimately, no.
No, conventionally.
Conventionally?
Yes, no.
Conventionally, yes.
So Igor in Portugal ceased when the Igor in India arise.
Yes.
So Igor in Portugal didn't travel. Okay,
Because-
the Apple staff, Apple engineer, yes.
I don't know if this is correct, but so I think like first moment, like
Okay,
of consciousness.
so should I ask the question or not?
The same. Okay, sure. You could. Yes.
Okay. What travels from the one life to the other if the self is impermanent?
If the self is impermanent, what travels from one life to another is mental consciousness.
Okay, so self doesn't travel.
Self doesn't travel.
Okay, self doesn't travel. Why?
So because basically what happens is
No, it's not happens. Why self doesn't travel from one life to the next life?
because self is impermanent.
Okay, so the consciousness doesn't travel to the next life. It's also impermanent.
Consciousness from this life will not be in the next life.
So therefore, consciousness doesn't travel to the next life.
No, the consciousness of this life will give rise to the consciousness of the next
This is not
life.
my question.
Okay.
Consciousness of this life travels to the next life or not?
This life travels to the next life or not? Consciousness of this life travels to the moments of consciousness of this life will not be in the next life because
So consciousness doesn't travel. So your early position is that person doesn't travel, the self doesn't travel, the consciousness travels.
Yes.
So you change your mind?
No.
No, which means person doesn't travel, the consciousness travels. This is your answer.
Can I try to explain? But
So this is what I'm saying. If you change your mind, feel free to change your mind, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I changed my mind, sure.
Okay, so now, okay, the lady over there. The lady over there. Okay, Mike. Okay, so two Geshe and Gente like, right, and
Здравствуйте, Гешела. Может, я ошибаюсь, а карма длится вместе с потоком ума. И она переходит из одной жизни в другую. Как поток ума, как ментальное сознание, но вместе с кармой.
Geshe-la, I might be mistaken, but karma continues along with the mental continuum.
so the mental continuum travels to the next life.
Ну да.
Yes.
So the self travels from one life to the next life.
Нет, я нет. Просто это поток ума, сознания. Я как понимаю, я это в каждой жизни, согласно накопленной кармы, она выстраивается новое я. А вот это, вот это сознание, оно бесконечно. И вот эта карма сопровождается, это как переносчик сознания этой кармы. И из жизни в жизнь вот это самосущее я возникает в соответствии этой кармы.
So in each life we have our new I, our new self. But this self, it is not what it travels from one life to another. What travels from one life to another is mental continuum. And when this mental continuum travels, it takes
Karma.
karmic seeds, karmic potential along with it. And in each and every life, we have totally new sense of self, sense of I, and this I does not travel from one life to another.
Okay, what's your name?
Нам Салма.
Nam Salman.
Да.
Okay. Did you all understand what Nam Salman said? Right? Okay, so my question is that just as every life you get a new sense of self, every life you have a new sense of mind also. Every life you have a new sense of mind or consciousness. So if the self does not travel, simply because that every life you have a new sense of self, even the mind should not be traveling because every life you have a new sense of mind. So it implies the same. Okay, now this would be the privilege for the Geshes and the Getana and here the Shinla and the King Aula and all the Venerables. Okay. Huh? Yes? Okay, the Getana wants to say something. Mike.
So you're looking for a response to just this very last question or the original question still?
What's the
What?
original question?
Well, what travels?
Yes.
Oh, well, the self does travel, even though it's impermanent.
Okay, the self travels.
Yes,
Tuyanla travels.
yes,
You travel.
yes,
You are the self of this life.
yes,
You, the moment you die, the self stops.
yes.
It doesn't travel.
The self stops, it does not travel. No.
What? No.
The self does not stop. The self
What? No.
The self does not stop when I die.
No. Tuyanla stopped.
Dunya stopped.
Tuyanla will not travel to the next life.
Dunya will not travel to the next life. Why?
Huh?
I mean, that's not true.
Because you
That's not true.
stopped.
There's no, that doesn't, it's not a sufficient reason.
Okay. So Tuyanla stopped, the next moment arises.
There you go. That's the meaning
So
of
therefore-
traveling to the next life.
So the first moment, 2023, does not travel to 2024.
That's correct.
So the Tuyanla doesn't travel to the next life.
Why?
Tuyanla, tell me why 2023 doesn't travel to 2024. Why not?
Because traveling is not an act done by time. Because traveling does not pertain
It
to
moved.
it.
Travel-
It moved to 2024.
2023 ceased.
Yeah.
It doesn't move.
That's the meaning of moving, ceasing, and then starting again in a new place.
Well, no, let's say,
And having its continuity, the later moment in its
Okay, so which
continuum
means that-
arising in a different place is the meaning of moving.
so last moment of the afflictions, it moved to the wisdom of emptiness.
Why?
Because it's a continuity.
That's not true.
Why not?
Because it as the end of the last moment of affliction is the end of the continuity of affliction.
So last moment of 2023, there's no continuity, it's last moment.
That's not true.
Was not true.
It's not the last moment of its continuity.
No, I said last moment of 2023. Last moment of the continuity 2020. 2023 is 1 year. So last moment of that. So it doesn't move to 2024.
Why?
Because it's last moment of 2023.
That's not a
So
sufficient reason.
likewise, last moment of afflictions. It'll continue.
Because there's no cause for its continuity to continue
No,
into
no,
the
no.
future. Is why
It's a continuity.
it's not. There's no later continuity. There's an earlier continuity, but no.
No,
later.
why not the later continuity?
Because the cause for it to have a similar type, a type similar to itself, arise again has been completely eradicated.
So likewise,
Causes.
2023, the horrible year,
Horrible year.
2024, very beautiful year, so it doesn't travel.
That's not true.
So horrible year, beautiful cannot, this is no continuity there.
There is a continuity there.
What is that?
The continuity of time.
So likewise, continuity of time with the what is that? With the last moment of affliction to the virtues. There's continuity of time.
Okay, I accept that. Yeah.
Okay, Ngawala.
The specific I of this life does not travel to the next life, but the general I that I have been in the past and will be in the future continues to the next life.
The specific I of this life doesn't travel to the next life.
Correct.
So Venerable Ngawala doesn't travel to the next life.
Correct.
So which travels?
The general I.
So general I travels.
Correct.
General I is already in the next life.
The general I that spans time between previous lives, current life, and future lives.
So general I spans in all three times.
Correct.
So therefore it doesn't have to travel.
It does travel.
No, it doesn't have to travel. It's already there.
That's like saying the future's already here.
No, this is up to you. You said it. I didn't say this.
It's a continuum of the I.
So the continuum of the I doesn't travel.
The I travels, not the continuum.
Okay. So the I travels.
Yes.
Why the continuum doesn't travel?
Because the continuum is made up of many moments. Some are in the future, some are present, some are in the past.
So I is also made of many moments, some in the past, some in the future, some present.
Yeah, but my future I hasn't arisen yet.
No, that's not my question. Because what you said, the continuum is made of many moments. So
Correct.
some of it present in the past, some in the future. Likewise the I, also some of it exists in the past, future and present. So that we should not be traveling.
But the future isn't here yet.
So therefore, even the continuum of the I must be traveling. Because the future is yet to be in the present moment.
No, I still stick with the I travels.
What of the continuum of the I? Does it travel or not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because it exists in all three times.
So I also exist in three times.
No, I don't.
Why not?
I only exist in the present.
Oh, not in the future.
No.
So in future you are not there.
Well, the specific I is not there.
The future I.
Will be there, but isn't there yet.
So therefore, likewise, continuum of the I. Continuum of the I is not in the future.
No, because the future isn't here yet.
Therefore, it's not in the future.
Correct.
So therefore, it travels to the future.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Namshi, Nishala.
Okay, yes.
Namshi.
Okay, now the Geshe. Now Geshe is saying the consciousness travels.
Chitta Santati is called in Sanskrit. Chitta Santati.
What Namshe?
It was in past, is now, and is going when
So
I die.
the consciousness travels. The consciousness travels from the past, present, and the future. What about the self?
There is no self.
Huh?
There is no self. It's
Okay. This is Buddhist philosophy.
self means we just name it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is not objective real.
Objective real, yes, Chitta Santati, I'd call Chitta Santati or Namshe.
So
It's
Namshe or
travel.
the self, the Namshe
With
or the
imprint of karma. With imprint
Namshe
of
or the
Chitta
consciousness, Chitta
Santati.
Santati. Chitta Santati, does it exist objectively or not?
exists. But
Prasangika.
it's impermanent.
Yes, it's impermanent. Das ist temper to your mare.
Demba to be a mare.
Temper to your marwa. So, say why the self is not self exists or not.
Self
Da yore mare.
dayo mare.
Da yo mare. So Geshe is coming from another Buddhist system in another world. Right? So maybe from that world where the human beings are like 400 times the size. Okay. So self doesn't exist. That's interesting. So the Buddha said, you are the master of yourself. It's not true.
It's true.
True. So you are the master of yourself.
Yes.
You exist.
Yes, I exist.
You exist. So you are a self. You are a person.
I am person.
So the person exists.
Yes.
Okay, don't say it doesn't exist. So the person travels to the next life.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Right? So Geshe is very flexible. That's amazing. So he doesn't mind change the person very easily. So two of them very stubborn. So here also. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the self travels to the next life.
Self means we just.
Yes,
to
what
say
is
yes,
designated
yes,
self travels to the next life. So the self is not impermanent.
Self is not. No, self is impermanent.
The self is not
what we
changing.
call-
It is
It's
continuous.
changing, always changing.
It's going to the next life also.
It's changing. With changing, not only just.
Okay, it goes to the next
if
life
it's
through
permanent,
changing.
If it's permanent, there is no change.
Okay,
there is
okay, that's
nothing.
fine.
Yeah.
So it travels to the next life.
Yes.
Although it travels to the next life, but it travels in the process of changing.
Yes.
So this is the thing. So which means this life's self, does it travel to the next life?
This self.
This life, Sediki Dajiro, Sediki Kibarshivadadi, will it travel to the next life? Kivashim Drumare. Nah, why not?
The gasara.
Yeah, tell him. So the self of this life, Krishna is saying, will not travel to the next life because it ceases. So the self, will it travel to the next life?
Self that I said.
It changes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say Namshe. Namshe of this life. Namshe meaning consciousness. Consciousness of this life, does it travel to the next life?
Yeah.
Consciousness of this life, does it travel to the next life? Sediki Kivarshi Namshe. Do kare do re.
Gyun to dungi ji yora.
Kandi.
Gyun to dungi ji.
Kandi re.
Ngazo di pacha sha dingi ji yora. Sim pacha sha dingi.
Sediki sem dirwa.
Didi odi yang.
Sediki sem dirwa.
Ta di sedigi sem di da chawang ma sem di da ta di gyun to dingi ji yora. Odi so.
So Geshe is saying is that there is a mind which keeps moving continuously. So what is that mind? Is the mind of this life?
Yeah, this
Sediki sem dirwa.
sedigi sem di an dora. Tagaran di gyun di le dera.
Sediki sem kiyoshiman do mar.
Dor.
Okay, sediki sem di, when you die, it does not stop.
Sedigi sem di.
Sediki sem gagir mare.
Di gana ni di gyun yo mara.
Di gagir mare.
Ngam chima di gyun gora.
Ani sabin, the seed, when it changes to the sprout, sabin nyugu chani, sabin gagir mare.
Sabin gadur.
Tinashin sediki namshi gagir.
Sedigi namshi gandir.
Sediki namshi kiyoshiman do marwa.
Di chawachman duma.
Karadur.
Di kenchi yora. Zegin den.
Okay, I thought I'm in the old category. Still, the old category is better than the younger ones. Younger Geshes. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, quick, over there, this girl.
Я могу ошибаться, и у меня опять интуитивно.
Okay, Ramala, first question is, did you answer my question? Before you give the answer, my question is, ask her, what is my question?
It's question, how is, как сознание и карма, как сознание переходит из одной жизни в другую. Я могу ошибиться сейчас. Можно я отвечу то, что у меня уже пришло, просто уже много разговоров. Да, сейчас.
I could not hear you.
The question is how consciousness travels from one life to another life, how it goes through all these lifetimes.
Я могу ошибаться.
This is not my question. My question is, if the self is impermanent, then the self stops. When the self stops, when the self dies, what travels to the next life? Taking the karma to the next life, what travels?
Я попробую ответить. Если взять в учет, что все это атомы и молекулы, и вы говорили про то, что есть свет, еще мы говорили про то, что мы запоминаем, да, то есть есть определенная память. И я предположу, что это переход из одного состояния в другое, когда вот эти молекулы, атомы, они из одного состояния переходят в другое. Но если вот эта световая волна, она остается в памяти, я не знаю, может, я пока договорю? Окей.
I will attempt to answer your question, Geshe. I think that all these atoms, all this bunch of atoms, molecules, and also you were speaking about the memory and the light within us. And I suppose that when we shift from one state to another state, all these bunch of molecules and atoms, they shift to another state. And I will now continue.
And this is have some like remember, and from past life, как какие-то участки вот этой памяти, они возникают в новой жизни. Это как глубокие санскары, которые просто прорастают. То есть получается, что оно как бы меняется, да, то есть оно другое, но вот эта память из прошлого, она прорастает в памяти вот этих клеток, молекул. Простите, я могу вообще не терминами, то есть пока у меня вот интуитивная речь.
And when all these atoms and molecules, they undergo all these changes from one state to another state, there is a memory that goes all through all these stages. And at some point, the memory from past life, some part of the memory can germinate, some samskaras can germinate, and I don't know, even though our I changes all the time, but there is some part of memory that can germinate, that can, samskaras that germinate. I'm sorry, I don't have all this vocabulary terminology, and my answer is purely on my intuition.
Как иногда мы можем вспомнить память, не знаю, наших родителей, например, да, вот какие-то программы всплывают, вот оно откуда-то же берется, то есть на каком-то таком клеточном уровне. И ученые одни, у меня есть пример такой, проводили эксперимент. Они находили обычную черепицу, кусочек глины, и высвечивали лазером. И только по лазерному излучению можно было сказать, а что это был за предмет когда-то давным-давно ранее. То есть что это за предмет, какой характер он носил, вплоть до того, какие рисунки на нем изображены и как его использовали. То есть вот как бы из этой, да, истории.
And sometimes we also have this memory from our own, from our own past ancestors, like some programs, biological programs that are there in our molecules and atoms, and sometimes all these memories all of a sudden from the side of our ancestors rise up. And there is an experiment done by the scientists. For example, they can discover the part of a clay pot, and when they investigate this item through the lasers and all this stuff, they can identify which part of clay pot was it and for what purpose was it used in those ancient times. So we also have some kind of this At some point, all these memories just come up, and we can know that these memories were about that and those, just like this clay pot.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what I would say is that take it to the group discussion, and later on you get something concrete, bring this up. And meanwhile, you have your answer. So these answers will become clearer when others bring their rebuttals. When others don't bring the rebuttals, you may think that you have the answer. So bring the antecedent rebuttals from others. So this is how we keep growing. Because that in the olden times, these debates, in a way, is very scary. So here is fine. In the olden, it's very scary. Because if you represent one tradition, say Buddhist tradition, then you debate with the other traditions. And if you lose the debate, you have to be converted to the other tradition. With all your students, you should be converted. So these are the customs, these are the traditions in the past, where you and all your students should be converted to the other tradition if you lose the debate. So this is why, in the olden times, in a way it's very scary. So therefore, I think that in the past, that in Asia, in India, the traditions, they really developed very strong. They philosophically, they all developed. Because you cannot just be, just saying that, okay, one teacher said it, and you say, yes, sir, and then somebody asks you deeper and deeper questions. Your teacher may have answers, but you may not have the answer. You don't know what the answer is. So you have to think about it. You think about it, and this is how both sides, Buddhists, non-Buddhists, they develop their thoughts. Okay, just think more. Okay, next, which verse we are reading? 71. Okay, so it says that the 72nd last line of the verse 70, since action cease after having been done, to whom should the action be ascribed? Meaning that you accumulate the action of karma in this life, and then they say you die, or say the next moment, say virtuous, non-virtuous karma, another mind arises. So the previous one ceases, but its seeds are not annihilated completely. It is still there, so it will bear fruit in the future. So the future person and to this person, these are very different. So therefore, how do you explain that the same person experiences the result of the karma that person experienced? Because the one who experienced the result is very different from the person who accumulated karma. So if the self is impermanent, but if the self is permanent, is very easy. The same self who accumulated karma experiences the result. So therefore, see, if one's intelligence is not too strong, then to just say that self is permanent is very easy. To make things, all these debates, very easy. But somebody who is extremely intelligent can ask questions, and then you will be really stuck in contradiction if you accept the self as permanent. Whereas, for those who accept self as impermanent, the very complicated questions can come up. And if you're not too smart, you cannot see the very fine line and you get stuck. So these are the things that we need to think of. For example, like Geshe, the Tuenla, and they studied for all these many years, not just studied debate with exchanges. So still they find it very difficult to hold. No? Try? Oh, yeah, you should also try. Okay. Okay, what travels is next life?
Self.
Self travels. You travel.
Yes.
You travel.
Yes.
Dinshuna traveled.
No.
Dinshuna doesn't travel.
No.
Okay, you have no past life.
We have.
Huh?
We have past lives.
No, you.
I have.
Shila, you're a girl or not? You're a girl or not?
Yes.
You're a girl. So you are not non-human being.
Yes.
You're a human being.
Yes.
So this human being travels.
This human being travels. He yes.
What yes?
Okay.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So now Gishma.
Can say in Tibetan.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Gishma likes to converse in Tibetan, so the others cannot. Okay. Okay, Tengla, you translate.
Got it?
Mike.
Hello. So the I that is characterized by the particular of being this life's I does not go on to the future life, but the substance continuum will go on to the future life. Okay, the substance continuum of the consciousness, sorry. And when we talk about a continuity or continuum, then there are two types. There's a substance continuum as well as a continuum of type. So the continuum of type will not go to the future life, but the substance continuum will go to the future life.
So the substance continuum is not complete. Question is not complete.
Okay.
So Zegun, the continuum of the substance, Zegun, of the consciousness travels to the next life.
Yes.
Substance, the continuum of the substance of the person will not travel to the next life.
Continuum of the substance of the person, the consciousness.
Dagi Zegun Rudu Mare, Namshiki Zegun Rularwa. Dag Zegun Rudu Mare.
Dagi Zegun Ruland. Yes.
So the continuous substance of the self also travels to the next life.
Yes.
Okay. But the self does not travel to the next life.
Self-travel.
Self-travel. So you don't specifically say the continuum of the substance. You don't say this. Self-travels. Just put it very simply. Self of this life will not travel, but the self travels. This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't have to say the complicated things, continuous substance of these travels. Right? Self travels.
Self-travel.
So you travel.
I don't travel.
You don't travel. So the self which travels, is it you or not?
Self-travel. That's not me.
It's not you.
No.
Where is the self? Is there self today, or does it exist today or not?
Self. Such a general self.
So this self, does it exist today or not?
Yes, it is.
Within you or outside you?
You can't pinpoint.
Huh? You cannot pinpoint. It travels somewhere in the air.
No.
Yes. And where is it? Is sitting or not sitting?
Sitting or not sitting? Self, sitting or not sitting? No, it doesn't sit.
It's not sitting. It doesn't eat food.
Self. Yeah, you eat food.
Eat food, but not sit.
In that context, the self.
Okay, now the psychology professor. The psychology professor from USA.
But Geshe, when you say self is a label that is dependent on its
The self exists or not?
Self exists.
It exists.
Yes.
It travels, not travel.
The consciousness associated with that self travels.
Self doesn't travel. So consciousness associated with self travels.
Yeah, okay.
Self doesn't travel, is it?
Yeah, well, that self labeled on this body.
Self travels or not?
Self travels in general. Yeah,
Good.
okay.
Self travels. You travel not.
Who is you? What is you?
You, Peltrinla.
Me from this life as Peltrinla.
Peltrinla, would you travel to the next life or not?
I do travel on, yes.
Good. So you travel.
Yeah.
So when you die,
Yeah.
you travel. You don't stop.
No, I cease. Me
You-
as
you
Peltrinla
cease.
ceases in this life.
So Peltrinla ceases.
Yes.
Peltrinla doesn't travel to the next life.
Yeah, but the continuum of my consciousness travels.
You do not travel. Your continuum travels.
Continuum of, Peltrinla.
You do not travel.
Except.
So you have the past life.
Why?
Because you don't travel, you do not come from the past life.
My continuum again came from the past
Yes,
life.
I know that. So you did not come from the past life. Your continuum came.
Except, okay.
So this continuum, is it sitting or not?
This continuum is sitting right here now, yeah.
Okay, it is food.
It's dependent on the aggregates which eats food.
This is not my question. Does it eat food or not?
It needs food, except.
Yes. So it's you or not?
Okay, except.
So you. So you came from the past life?
Except.
You go to the next life.
Except.
So when you die, you don't stop.
That you is the problem.
Yes.
How to get that? How to... Yeah, what is being conceptualized as the you, I don't know.
You don't know you.
I don't know
You know Peltrinla.
I have the label Peltrinla.
Do you know?
based
Do you
on
know?
my
Do you know Peltrinla or not?
I'm familiar with Peltrinla. Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, I know Peltrinla.
You know Peltrinla.
Yeah.
So that Peltrinla is you.
The Peltrinla that I know is
You.
in this particular moment. Yes, in this.
So
moment.
you know you.
In this moment, yes.
You know you. You is not a problem.
I know you. I know me in this moment. Yeah.
You is not a problem. You said you is the problem.
Mm. Yeah. Don't know.
Okay, now I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing. What happened to one's eyes? I don't see anybody. Yeah, I can see the book, but I don't see anything else. Okay, so which verse we are reading? Which verse we are reading? 71. Okay, let's see. But the answer is still the answer is not answers yet to come. 71. 71 done, not done. Not done. 71. So now Bodhisattva Shantideva is given the answer here. Well, since it is established for both of us, you who accept the self as permanent and I who accept the self as impermanent, for both of us, that action and result have a different basis. Action is the karma. Let's say that you accumulated karma in the previous life, and the result, you experience the result today. For example, you have a good health. Say, we are all very fortunate that we lived minimum the 18 years in a life, right? How many of you lived 18 years? How many lived 18 years? How many of you lived less than 18 years? Less than 18 years? Right? Okay, 18 years. Tenzin Sala, how long did you live? 20 years. That's interesting. And the Didala? 18 years. Okay. So we minimum had 18 years. So many people died when they were aged 5, 6, the infant deaths. So many happening. So we are very fortunate. So even this is a positive result. Positive result that we experience now is the result of the previous karma which we accumulated in the past life. So the karma we accumulated in the past and the result we experience in this life. You're getting it in two different lives. The first life or the earlier life, you accumulated the positive karma, and this life we have the experience of the good results. So both sides. Say, for example, you advocate the self is impermanent. I advocate the self is permanent. So do you accept that the karma that you accumulate in the past life and the result that you're experiencing today? So these two people who associate with these two people, say one, the result they're experiencing is caused by the karma you accumulated in the past life. Yes? I also accept that. And that karma that you accumulated in the past life, the result is what you're experiencing today. You accept? I also accept it. Who are you? Those who accept the self as impermanent, not permanent. And I'm the one who accepting the self as permanent. So we agree in this. So now see if you agree with me that in the past life, when you were accumulating the karma, that person, when accumulating karma, that person is not experiencing the result of that karma. You agree? In this life, when the person experiences the result, the same person is not the accumulating the karma. Yes? Already accumulated, not accumulating. You agree? So I who accept the self as permanent, I also accept that. So we agree in this. So with this, it says that 71. Well, since it is established for both of us that action and result have a different basis. Different basis meaning that time when the karma is accumulated, there's a self which accumulates karma but not experience result. Now in this life, there's a self which experiences the result, not accumulating karma. You're getting it? So these two are not 100% identical. Do you agree? In ways that one is in the process of accumulating karma, not experiencing the result. Other experience the result, not accumulating the karma. Accumulated, not accumulating. So these two are different bases in that sense. In that sense. The action and result have a different basis. And the self has no active role in this. Okay. Why? Because that when you are in this life, when you experience the result, you don't have the active role in accumulated karma. Do you agree? In this life, when you experience the result, you don't have the active role in accumulated karma for the result. Because that active role happened last life, not this life. Is it not useless to debate on this point? So because the point is that both of us agree, and then the point is whether self is permanent. I say it is permanent. Of course, Bodhisattva Shanti will reject it. But with respect to me asking you the question, that if the self is impermanent, then what experiences the result? Or how do you account for the same person experience the result? How can you account for this? So this debate will not hold true, although I put this debate to you, but Bodhisattva Shanti was saying that this debate doesn't make any sense because we agree in this point that there are two cells, not two distinct cells, but the self experiences the result and the self experiences itself accumulated in the cause. So when accumulated cause is not experienced result, experience the result, not accumulated cause. So therefore there are two different bases here. You accept it, I also accept it. You're getting it? In other words, to give a very simple answer to this, so all these complication debates, we have to eventually know. We have to know how to put the questions and how to give the answers and how to maneuver so that you can still maintain. The reality is, yes, the self is impermanent. So even though you cannot defend it now, but the reality is self is impermanent. The only thing is that the reality is very subtle. When the questioner asks you, takes you till that point, subtle point, if you cannot get to this point, then you get stuck. If you can clear this point, like a bottleneck, right? In the traffic, there's a bottleneck. Till you cross the bottleneck, there's a difficulty there. Once you cross the bottleneck, then you're free. So, say, there are very nuanced points there. If you cannot give the answer to this, even though what you hold, the position that you hold is true, but still, you can hold it, although what you're saying is truth. Because they can ask you a question, and then you don't know the answer to the very subtle point. So therefore, the point is, okay, let me put it like this. If you agree with me or not, say, how many existed the minimum the last 18 years? Makes sense? Okay, so let's say, so for the last 18 years, okay, for the last 18 years, we existed. So let's say your name is Venerable Ngawanla, right? 18 years ago, you're Venerable, okay. Ngawanla was the layperson's name. Kevin, Stephen. Let's say Stephen existed 18 years ago. No, I mean, it exists or not exist?
Existed.
You exist today or not? Don't say more than that.
Yes, I exist.
Just say
today.
yes. Okay. So Stephen, okay, this is not just question to Stephen. This question to each one of us. If you can resolve this problem, you will get a big clue how to give the answer. So Stephen existed 18 years ago.
Yes.
Stephen exists even today.
Yes.
18 years ago, Stephen was very young.
Young.
18 years younger than today.
Yes.
Very young. Right?
Yes.
Okay, 18 years younger, way younger than you are today. So, Stephen then and Stephen today, there's a gap of 18 years age. 18 years ago, he was much younger, and today is 18 years older. Not only Stephen, each one of us. Don't say poor Stephen, he's 18 years older. Right? Each one of us way 18 years older. Right? Okay. So the point is that, which means that time you were 18 years younger and now you are 18 years older, which means that you were changing.
Yes.
You're changing. But all along you are Stephen.
Yes.
Understand? All along you are Stephen. So simply because you last 18 years as a Stephen doesn't mean that 18 years you are permanent. 18 years you have been changing. Impermanence is there. But all along you are Stephen. Likewise, so although change doesn't mean that the Stephen disappears. Oh, you changed. Say the first year, the first of the 18 years, you changed to next year, which means the Stephen stopped? No, Stephen continues, but every time he becomes older, older, older. Every time we become older, 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 but we keep changing, but we remain as Stephen. He remained as Stephen. You getting it? So, you in this life, you in the next life, next life, and so forth. These are like the Stephen in 2020, 21, 22, 23, different Stephens. Because every time is 1 year older, older, older. Older meaning is not 1 year younger. So these are different. One is younger, one is older. But all along, it remains as Stephen. You're getting it? Likewise, you of this life, you of next life, you of next life. So many lives of this life, next life, so forth. So it's changing. You of this life may be human being. You of next life may be the dog. Or next life, deva. Or next life, human being. So it's changing, but it doesn't mean that you disappear. Like Stephen continues, likewise you continue. Although it's changing. Changing doesn't mean that it should disappear. It continues. So changing, impermanence, but it can last forever. Simply because something lasts forever doesn't mean that it is permanent. You getting it? For example, time is changing every time. Time changes. But time lasts forever. Likewise, the self, I, lasts forever. So simply because the self lasts forever, many people think that self should be permanent. No, self is impermanent. For example, like you last for the last 18 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. But every year this is changing. There's a change happening in you. Okay, did you get some clue? Okay, good. Okay, 72. Seeing a causal state endowed with the simultaneous result is never feasible. So now, if you believe the self is permanent, what's the problem? There's a problem. If you believe the self is permanent, then they say you accumulate the karma and you experience the result. These two are happening at two different times. So one is during the causal state, one is during the resultant state. So these two are at two different times. But if the self is permanent, the self should not be changing. If the self is accumulating karma, should continue accumulating karma. Even when experiencing the result, you should be accumulating karma. When accumulating karma, you should be experiencing the result already. So the cause and effect should be simultaneous. This is not, it is logically inconsistent. You're getting it? This is a problem. Where if you accept the self as permanent, this is a problem. Where the self can last long, self can last eternally, but it is impermanent. With accepting that is impermanent, then the debates will come. And we need to learn how to defend the positions. You get it? It's not just defending. We have to see the subtlest of the nuances. We have to get the answer to the subtlest of the nuanced questions. So, this if you accept the self as permanent, there's no answer. Because a good question is asked, then the reality is that since the self is not permanent, therefore the correct answer, correct question is asked, you get stuck. So this is a problem. So therefore, at one point, there was a professor, and the professor of neuroscience, and I was so happy to meet with the neuroscientists, which means neuroscientist meaning somebody who has a open mind, scientific thinking, scientific mind, very objective. I was so happy. It's always my joy, always to meet with the scientists and non-believers. I'm so happy to meet with non-believers. To meet with believers is very complicated. Even with Buddhists also very complicated. I ask them questions, right? They don't do questions, then they feel offended. Whereas if you're a non-believer, no issue. So you say something, it makes sense, the person says, yeah, I agree. Right? If the person, it doesn't make sense to you, the person says, no, I don't agree. So I feel so comfortable talking to non-believers. The best of the people to whom I like to converse is the little intelligent non-believers. If it's not intelligent at all, it's very complicated. Right? You say, the person will say yes to everything. So, and of course the scientists, very open-minded scientists, is very comfortable to talk to. Some scientists are very staunch. Some are very open-minded. For example, Professor Nicholas Gissen. Professor Nicholas Gissen from Switzerland. He is very smart. I really appreciate him. His mind is really extremely sharp, plus very objective. He doesn't hold to just, the position, no matter what. And whatever you say, I don't hear. This is not his position. Very open and very intelligent. He can understand what exactly you are saying right away. So this is very important. So where Again, it's not about, say, okay, self is impermanent, then you have this debates, and then you feel offended. No, they are rejecting Buddhism. If this is the attitude, this is wrong. This is wrong. Likewise, any tradition. It's not about tradition. All these enlightened masters who came with the philosophical positions has actually come to help us to create your well-being. Don't forget about this. Your well-being and the well-being of the sentient beings. That is the number one. The philosophy comes number two. Philosophy, the means to get to your well-being. Your well-being is a priority. So sometimes we become so fanatical. We hold the tradition, we forget a goal. Okay. Seeing causal state endowed with a simultaneous result is never feasible. Cause and effect cannot be simultaneous. If the self is permanent, then you have to accept the cause and effect as simultaneous. Through the shared continuum, the agent and experiencer of results are explained. Now, from the point of the first two, from the point of view of the advocates of the self to be impermanent, how do you account for this? Yes. For example, say how many you bunked the class when you were in young school days? How many bunked the class? Sanchut, you bunked the class. Hey, raise your hand. Everybody look at this girl. She bunked the class. When? Age 5, 6, 7? Not before that. Are you sure? Not before you did. Before you did. So you bunked class in college. I see. I was not expecting. Okay. Are you sure? You bunked class. You bunked class. That was how many years ago? Just roughly.
13, 14 years ago.
13, 14 years ago. Say you at the moment 30.
37.
Well, let's say 30. Let's say you're 30, right? So you bunked class when you're 21. Let's say 21. You bunked class when you're 21. So you were there 13 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. You are not 30 years old.
No.
Oh, you are 30 years old.
Oh, now, yes.
Yes. Are you 30 years old?
Yes, for the example, yes.
Seems like she's from IIT. Are you? Yeah, from the answer that you're giving, I can sense it. So, you're 37 years old or not?
Yes.
You're 37 years old. So this 37 years old bunked class when you were when you were in college.
The 21-year-old bunked the class.
Okay, 37 years old did not bunk the class. You did not bunk the class.
I bunked the class. The I that was 21 years old.
Okay, so are you 21 years old or you are 37 years old?
Now I'm 37 years
I
old.
did not ask now. I asked you. Are you 21 years old, 37 years old?
37 years old.
Okay, so you are 37 years. You are not 21 years old. So you did not bunk the class. The one who bunked the class was 21 years old, and you are 37 years old. Right? So what's your answer? You bunked the class or not?
Yes.
Very stubborn. I thought that there's only one stubborn person. There are two. Okay. Okay. Tyatha om gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhisvaha tyatha om gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhisvaha tyatha om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. So the response given is here. Through the shared continuum, the agent and experience of the results are explained. So if somebody asks me, like how I asked Sanjukta, say, the one who bunked the class was 21 years old, and now I am 37 years old. Did I bunk the class? I bunked the class, yes. But the one who bunked the class is 21 years old. You are 37 years old. It doesn't matter. I am 37 years old, but the instances of me, illustrations of me, are not necessarily 37 years old. For example, phenomenon in general is permanent. What is a phenomenon may not be permanent. They are impermanent phenomena also. You getting it? Say, the human beings in general is very neutral. Human beings, are they kind or not kind? Human beings in general is very neutral. But it's not that all human beings are neutral, all human beings are good or bad. Some human beings are very good, some human beings are neutral, some human beings are bad. But human beings overall is neutral. But it also means that all human beings should be neutral. Likewise, say, I am 37 years old. But there are instances of I, illustrations of I, which are not 37 years old. For example, 21 years old, the Sanjukta was also I. But if you ask me, how old are you? I say, 37 years old. I'm not 21 years old. But within this I, there are illustrations of the I which is 21 years old as well. So that 21 years old I and 37 years old I, they share one continuum. What is that? I. This I. So this I, we share the continuum. This I can be spoken of in the sense of specific time, in the sense of 3 times, in the sense of 2 times. So therefore it is known as, this I is known as general I. But if you say general I, again you are in problem. Just say I. This I travels to the next life. This I came from the past life. So this I is 37 years old Sanjukta girl. But 21 years old girl, was that Sanjukta? Yes. Was that me? Yes. So you got a photograph and you see that there's a cute girl there. You say, each part of, in the mother's, this is me. No, how can this be you? You are 37 years old. This is just a cute little toddler. But no, it's me. I'm not saying that this toddler is 37 years old girl. No, it's not 37 years old girl, but it's me. Within me per se is 37 years old, but within me there's a toddler, elderly, and in future, old one as well. Okay, this is how they share a continuum. Young one, old one, they share a continuum, which means momentarily it's changing. It's changing impermanence, still you can account for the cause and effect. Cause and effect with respect to the individual. And then this continuum should not be confined only to one life. Continuum can be also spoken of in the context of the future lives also. Just as the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, we can likewise say the first life, second life, third life, fourth life. So simply because it's the change of life does not mean that the continuum cannot be explained. Continuum can be explained on the basis of the minutes, on the basis of the days, on the basis of the years, on the basis of the life after life as well. Continuum can be explained. Okay, Anna. Question, answer. Mike.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
How do you account for clear light mind? How do you account for the subtle clear light mind in terms of the continuum?
Okay, this is a good question. What exactly is the question? So, at the moment, if you ask me, do you have the clear light mind? I will say no. But I have the imprint of the clear-light mind with me. Each one of us with the imprint of the clear-light mind. I don't have the, because I have the gross mind. When the gross mind manifests, the clear-light mind doesn't manifest. So, the thing is that clear-light mind, when you speak of the clear-light mind and clear mind, they should be treated slightly differently, because the mind exists at all times. There is never a time when the mind becomes dominant, but the specific minds can become dominant. The clear-light mind is a specific moment of the mind. It can become dominant at one point, but the mind per se, it continues at all times. There's no, say, the state where it becomes dominant.
Okay.
So for clear-light mind, it's easy, obviously easier.
So in the same way that if you're angry, the positive mind is dormant, at the moment the clear light mind is dormant.
Exactly. Yes.